Teachers, welcome. I'm Carolyn, your host. Welcome to this week's Weekly Mini, your bite-sized workshop on the hottest acro topics. You can reference all of our previous weekly minis and more amazing content on the Acrobatic Arts channel on YouTube. If you have any questions today, drop them in the comments and we'll do our best to get those answered for you by our guest at the end. And if you know someone who should hear about today's topic, be a friend and tag them right now and let them know we're here. Today, we're thrilled to welcome special guest Joanne Klenk, National Dance Insurance Program Director for Promark Partners Insurance Services and Dance Insurance USA. Since 1999, Promark Partners Insurance Services and Dance Insurance USA have been tailoring programs for dance and performing arts studios across the U.S. Joanne is the National Dance Insurance Program Director, and the firm is proudly endorsed by IDEA, More Than Just Great Dancing, Dance Educators of America, and Global Dance Alliance. Currently, the team is working on assisting U.S. studios teaching AcroDance while exploring opportunities to expand outside of the U.S. They are an amazing resource for us. It has been a pleasure to get this presentation together for you with Joanne. She is very passionate and excited to be here, and we're so fortunate to have her here to answer your questions. Welcome, Joanne.
Wow, thank you. What a nice introduction. Yes, I am passionate. I have been trying to help the dance industry and communities since '99, as I said, and I always work to perfect and be a resource to the studios out there. Been to trade shows, have some conversations, have some videos out there. But yes, I'm happy to get started and let you know where we're at with acrobatic arts
Awesome.
and certification and insurance and how it all relates.
Awesome. Well, while you are getting set up, because I know you're going to do a screen share with a PowerPoint, I'll let you get that working. But yes, I mean, obviously, lots of questions. There always has been from our studio owners and our teachers about certification, about or insurance as they get certified and get their studios or their program up and running. So I know, Joanne, you've got a presentation here to share with us, and we're looking forward to getting an overview. I know you're going to start from the very beginning. And then, as I said before, teachers, if you have a question or questions, please post them in the comments during the presentation. And we're going to get Joanne to answer those for you at the end. Joanne, I will let you take it away.
Okey-doke. Very good. Thank you again. I appreciate the opportunity to share some knowledge. So some of the things I'd like to cover, it sounds like a lot, but we will try to get this in the weekly mini. Acrobatics versus tumbling versus aerial arts, lyra hoops, where the insurance companies stand on insuring particular acro programs, how you can minimize your risk to make your dance studio more attractive. And there are limitations on policies, which I think is important to share with you. And then we have a concussion protocol that I know many of you have plans in place, but we are a resource for protocol and guidelines. And what our agency mission is related to acrobatic arts. So when you talk about acrobatics, you have the tumbling and the mats and the load at the ground. Insurance companies that specialize in dance insurance really don't have a problem with the tumbling and the mats, and they most times charge you the same premiums. Aerial arts, lyra hoops, height restrictions, other apparatus, they start getting a little bit shaky, and they really like the cream of the crop. And I know working with the acrobatic arts, many of you are the cream of the crop. So from an insurance company perspective, acrobatics comes from the Greek word acrobatos, and it means to go to the highest point. So that's all an insurance company looks at, the highest point. Whether or not it's tumbling, whether or not it's, aerial hoops, maybe 5-10 feet off the ground, they still see it as height. When you do ride a dance studio, acrobatics is considered to have a higher rate, and the higher the risk, the higher the premium, because the higher the fall, the harder the fall. One accident the insurance companies look at, I'm going to exhaust the premium that was paid by the time I defend my dance studio and I pay out a potential claim for an injury. So minimizing your risk, it's really important to have the certification to do the acrobatic arts and have some specialists in the field, which many of you I know do. Proper teaching comes from that certification and protocol that you're going through, whether it be through acrobatic arts or sharing with other studio professionals. But anyway, the certification proper teaching is really important for you. When you talk about rigging and the height, the higher you go, again, maybe you don't have to go that high, really high. You can come down lower, and that helps improve what an insurance company will look at to write your studio. Studios also should have rules relative to what the student is allowed to do or not do and adhere to them. So some of the policy limitations or exclusions that I think is important to share with everybody. Take a look at your program, take a look at your policies. Make sure all the disciplines that you're teaching are covered. Look at any limitations for height, any equipment, trampolines, aerial, mats, and so on. You want to make sure you don't have a limitation or an exclusion. Also, independent contractors, especially if you're going to have somebody come on board that is certified, that's an independent contractor to teach anything at all, you want to make sure your policy protects you for your independent contractors that are teaching on your behalf. Also, there are exclusions that we're finding lately with concussions and head trauma, and there's just plain out exclusions. So be careful to look on your policies for that. The biggest one that I see when I'm looking at policies, and I think it's important to tell you all, participants as an exclusion. So in other words, your dance students aren't covered if there's an accident at the studio. They literally will have to sue you and prove that you did something negligent. So when you see that exclusion, you do need accident insurance, and the accident insurance will pay for any uncovered medical expenses, whether or not you're negligent. That's that student that just twists their ankle, they can't walk and talk at the same time, and they fall and get hurt. You did nothing wrong, but an accident policy will help you to avoid lawsuits. So I kind of just stole my slide here. It is important to have because of that exclusion, and it is important for you to check. And having that separate policy for your accident insurance doesn't penetrate any kind of issues against your regular general liability insurance for negligence. It's considered goodwill because the insurance company will pay for medical expenses that are not covered, say under insurance or a copay. After speaking with you, the business owner, they consider it goodwill coverage. They just pay, and it's important because then they waive having a lawsuit. I just went too fast. I think I missed. Okay, concussion protocol. Again, having a plan for employees to follow, have a meeting, be aware of the signs. These are 3 links in my presentation here that you can go to the CDC and look up some videos. There's some written guidelines. And again, you just want to be on the heads up because your policy may exclude concussions. Especially when you're doing acrobatics, it's more of a chance of somebody falling and hitting their head. So one of the things that I am trying to accomplish here at Promark Insurance is working with my insurance companies and various programs to cover the disciplines that are within acrobatic arts. So we are right now currently working on the USA accounts as we are domiciled in New York. We are looking to the future for being able to offer a product that will cover Canadian studios as well. And then we are also trying to partner possibly with having potential to offer the program to worldwide studios. That's a little more difficult because the rules are various according to country and the rules and obligations that you have. Some insurance is required, some is not, but it's trying to get our arms wrapped around it and what the need really is from acrobatic arts as to what countries. will help in the long run. We really look to be a resource for the industry and offer information through little minis like this, going to trade shows, come and chat with us when we're there. Really do appreciate everybody's attention, and any questions that you may have, I am here. And I'm not sure what's in the chat, so that's going to be up to Carolyn to let me know what, and if I covered anything or whatever questions you all have. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joanne. A really great start at information for our teachers and studio owners. Obviously, some real talk too, because it's not always the most pleasant conversation, but it is a conversation that has to be had. We're also going to remind our viewers again that the information that you're providing, as you mentioned, we mentioned at the beginning and you mentioned just now, this is very specific to the US experience. So you are a great resource for that, but knowing that you have been treading some ground, really trying to get some information for other countries. We are a global company, so trying to open the door to this conversation so that should people have questions, that you are definitely a resource who's looking for answers, boots on the ground, so that is our reality. So if you have any questions for Joanne, most certainly you can ask them now. You have her here, so you can put those in the comments. I'll also queue up all of her contact information in the comments as well, so that you can reach out to her at any time. And also, Joanne, just so you know, those links in your PowerPoint, I did add those to the comments as well, so people can access those as well. So teachers, as I said, there's questions available, an opportunity to ask Joanne questions if you have them. And also, if you'd rather communicate with her offline, you have specific questions to your experience. And I know it can be very specific circumstances depending on what you're offering, that Joanne can be a resource for you there as well. So Joanne, I think you've covered the bases. There are no further questions at this time, but as I said, this might be something that people want to discuss in depth with you on a personal level. So as we close things out, I will put that information in the comment section for you, our teachers and studio owners. Joanne, thank you again for joining us today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. That was my pleasure. Thank you.
Most certainly. And so this will live as a resource for our teachers as well. You can find Joanne at upcoming conferences and special events and expos in the dance community. Joanne, can we find you anywhere this summer?
This summer, I will be at the More Than Just Great Dancing in Las Vegas, and I'll probably hang for one extra day in between to see people and meet with my clients and new prospects. So yeah, I'll be there.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing you there. I think we will be there too. So if you're interested in talking more with Joanne, you can find her at one of those at that event, or connect with her now at danceinsuranceUSA.com. I'll put all of her contact information in the comments. As you can see, she's an incredibly valuable resource, and together with her team, they'll review your individual needs and work with you on the perfect insurance program. With a tailored approach, they're able to design a very reasonable insurance and aim to make sure that you understand. I think that is one of the most important things. Joanne, thank you again for being with us today. Teachers, thank you, and join us again next week. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.